All right, perfect. Chat. Good morning, Frank. It's a snow day, yeah. Is it snowing a lot where you guys are at?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we got like maybe half an inch or so on the ground here in Tooele, so it's not bad.
We are getting a very light flurry here at Idaho
Flurry.
Falls.
What's a flurry?
Okay.
Is that like a small blizzard, or is it just a?
No, that's occasional snowflakes you might see through the haze.
Oh, okay, that's a flurry. Using fancy words. Any words
Hey,
over two syllables you can't use here. Just saying.
I have
No,
found
no
that I
grateful.
want to become a meteorologist. It's a job you can lie every day, have absolutely no idea what you're even talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for being wrong every single day.
I I think you're talking about politicians. Is that where you want to be?
Well, no, that's massively lying.
Oh, okay, okay. That's just in your
With
face lie.
meteorologists, they don't lie; they're just wrong.
Yeah,
In
gotcha.
that
Okay.
case, you probably want to speak to one of our service guys, maybe bring in.
Awesome, guys. Cool. So, the some good news. Those who were at the meeting yesterday, uh, Nate, Dan, some other people, Rosa. Uh, we're I was talking to Maylee yesterday before their epic event, and she wanted. So I was telling about the success we had with the door knocking last Saturday, and she suggested like, why don't we just do like a joint with the gamers and the challengers. So if you're in both, you have to come twice or something. I don't know. Kidding. But so what we're doing is like on the 21st at 1 o'clock, we're going to be meeting up. I need to look at the notes default list to pick another location, but I'm open for any suggestions as well. But the gamers are going to come, like us, and then all of like Melee's people that are in the challenge are going to come too, that want to come, and Melee's going to come, which is awesome because I learned door knocking from Melee. Like that's where I got my cut my teeth in door knocking with her. So it's really cool. And as you guys know, especially if you've already gone with Melee, I do things differently than she does. But if you haven't gone with her, it's really cool to get her perspective and see how she does things. And you're gonna have your own style and just like how I learned stuff from her, but I do it Jared way. And so now you're gonna do it the Carla way and the Jenny way and Aubrey way and all that stuff, right? So it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to have it. So it's gonna be a really big turnout, I think. So I'm super excited for that. What could we do? So those of you, I think most of you here went last Saturday. What do you think we did? Because we did talk a little bit about this before, but as we're kind of going forward, what could we do better on this next Saturday? Not tomorrow, but the 21st. If anything, or just wash and repeat. Feelings won't get hurt, I promise.
I think it's hard to tell what we could do different because in my case, it was the first time, so that's all I know.
Okay.
But I guess as we do it more often, we probably could have better ideas. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
One thing that we did with Melee last time, and I'm not saying this is better or we should do it this way. I'm just saying different. Is the group all left from the park, and I think they were all within walking distance of the park. But with that, I don't think there were. I don't think we found like NODs or anything like that specifically.
Oh, you just were farming just the neighborhood, basically.
The whole, yeah, just the area. Yeah.
Okay.
So that being said, I do really like the way you did it with like everybody was able to pick like an NOD, and then kind of do it that way. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like doing that. I think that was helpful.
Yeah, then you kind of have that cherry at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a purpose for being there, not just farming.
Yeah.
Right. Right, because some of the leads we got were from the notice of default, not all of them, but yeah. So I think that's cool, regardless. So awesome. Okay, sweet. Well, or any other thoughts on the door knocking? And we can talk a little bit more next week too. But where did I get those NODs? Those NODs that from the iOS. I pulled from Renaissance iOS. I got the map and I looked at kind of it's a good cluster of notice of defaults, and that's where that little area in West Valley. I was like, okay, they're all within 5 to 10 minute drive from that park. That's pretty close. Which does kill the time on. What do you think? What was the furthest you had to drive, guys, to actually get to your notice of default? I'm just curious.
I drove 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, we drove 10 minutes.
Anyone drive further than 10 minutes, or took further than? Because that's like 20 minutes there and back. That took out of the knocking, but it's a little more focused.
I didn't really
And
keep
it
track,
did
but I
not-
think mine was about 10.
Yeah, and that doesn't include, stopping and getting a soda or a coffee or going to the bathroom.
I'm gonna smack. Come. I'm gonna get a ladder. I'm gonna smack you. Is what's gonna happen? Because what do we do? Because this should be sacred time, right? So this is like if you want to get your coffee, go to the bathroom. You're doing that beforehand, and then when you show up, you're ready to go. You're hydrated. Your bowels are empty, ready to kick some butt. And I smack Carl. He knows better than that.
You should, Jared. You should.
I should.
Hey,
Why came information, man?
my
Now I
group,
got
we
it.
did not stop. We went straight there. I was talking about some other groups that did stop.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Throw people in the bus. Yeah.
Well, Carla drove, so you have to ask her.
And then straight to the spot.
Oh yeah. See. Yeah. Carla was the group I visited first, even though only got to see two. But
And remember, I was the first one you walked with, so you knew where I was.
that's true. That is true. Quick question: those who went with Maylee, did Maylee go with you guys? Did she kind of go bounce around? I can ask her too. But I'm just more curious than anything right now. Did she go around with you guys to knock, or she have her own area knocking? I'll probably just ask her.
I thought she knocked with a couple people, but again, it was all walking distance, so everybody was walking everywhere, so it might have been
Got it.
a little bit difficult to get to people.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
Jared, I like your idea because that means any of the groups are not overlapping either. So if we just went out from the park, then we could overlap houses without realizing it.
Yeah, that's true.
But where yours was, we had areas to pick from.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do that again. I'm not sure how many people have Maylee's. What was the turnout for Maylee's door knocking? I didn't go. I was invited, but I didn't go. I should have, but I didn't. How many people?
I honestly don't remember. Do you remember, Nate?
It was similar to
30-ish?
the turnout that we had. Yeah.
It was similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But what she did, instead of doing NODs or places, picking up random addresses,
Mhm.
she just pick up an area and she assigned a street for every team.
Got it.
Yeah, so there was no overlapping. We didn't have to worry about that because every group had a
You had
specific
your
street.
street, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Cool. I think we're still gonna do the NODs this time. Like, so they're joining us. I'm still in charge of it. I'm obviously gonna listen to the experience, like the masters, right? I mean, Maylee definitely knows more about door knocking than I will. She's forgotten more about door knocking than I'll ever know. So
It might be cool to do an experiment and have some people do NODs and some people just do streets
Just
and see
farming?
what the success is to see,
sure.
kind of what the difference is and,
Right. Well,
Right.
and the thing, I don't know if it would be that much different, to be honest. One, because the only real difference is because we're still going through it'd still be like the same script. And so I don't know how big of a difference it would make. Because we're talking to 99% of the people we're talking to, they're just like if it was a farming area versus that one cherry on top or whatever. So how often do we get to the notice default and how often is it fruitful, right? Joel, the deal that you're working on with that lady, she was not the notice of default, correct? Oh well.
No, that was a finding.
That was just from
I mean,
farming. Okay.
Yeah, from farming the area. Yeah.
Cauliflower. No, what vegetable she calls it? What is that strategy called? Jenny, tell me. You told me before. What is it? No, Aubrey told me. What is
It's
it?
cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Yeah, the cauliflower. I'm still gonna forget it. Whatever. So farming. Got it. That's cool. And same with Sandra's. That was also from just doing cauliflower. So we'll see. We'll see how many we get. Because if another 20 people show up, because we do have some cross reference, like probably out of the 55. Aubrey, thank goodness. What's your kid's name? What's his? Is it a
It's Caden.
Caden? Thank goodness she
Uh-huh.
took after you, man. I mean, oh, that's
I,
great.
I tell her that every day. I mean, goodness gracious. That'd be.
That's just cutie. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Next order of business. So deal machine. Who has used deal machine before knows what it is. We talked about it a couple times when we were talking about driving for dollars, maybe the first or second week of the games. No, I think Angie was like the only one.
ago.
Okay. And so same with me. A long time ago, I was using Deal Machine, and it's a great app, phenomenal. They've only like changed things, like they added like so much stuff. Like I was really blown away after I looked at it, because like when Angie was talking about some of the cool features they've added in the last couple of years since I've used it, it was like, wow, this is awesome. So the Deal Machine. Let me pull this up here. I contacted the marketing team, or marketing and branding team. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, so I was able to reach out, and I was kind of surprised I got a hold of it, not gonna lie. So I negotiated a deal where we can get a discount. I got a promo code where we get, where is it at? I don't want to, here it is. That's right. I didn't pin it yet. So I got us $1,000 worth in free skip tracing, free marketing credits with Deal Machine, 7-day trial, no, cancel anytime. So $30 in free marketing credit, enough for 50 plus calls, or 50 plus postcards. So the Deal Machine, just so you know, so it's an app. It's great for driving for dollars, because it can literally it can mark where you're driving for dollars. So you're not like doubling back on an area you've already driven. And it'll even like change colors. So depending on the colors, like when was the last time you actually drove that street, if you're doing driving for dollars. So it can build lists, so you can like pin stuff. And this is even if you're not driving for dollars, you can start building lists. You're knocking on doors. Oh yeah, that one. I want to call that person again. This is something I didn't know that they had, but they have a power dialer. So there's a dialer system on it, and there's like an AI dialer. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. I need to figure that out too. But basically, it's like a connect with owners using smart dialing technology, whatever that means. Probably just some mumbo jumbo. And marketing automation. So you can, if you're driving for dollars and you see a property that looks distressed, like it has multiple windows are cracked, long grass, bad roof, like cool, awesome. I want to start a mailing campaign to that, and then it can send like 7 touches, like 7 letters over the next 3 months, however you set it up for, like automatically. And also it helps you find property info, so owner's details in seconds, skip tracing. Yeah, it's awesome. So check out, or I'll even put it in the chat if you guys want to take a look at it. So yeah, it's cool. If anything, you can just sign up for the 7-day free trial and then use all the free stuff and then cancel it. Like worst case scenario. So I mean, like, that's awesome. I'm excited we're able to get that. But they have like monthly or yearly subscription kind of thing, and it can get priced depending what you want. So I don't know, play around with it. Any questions on the Deal Machine we got as far as like the promo code or the deal that I was able to the deal was able to get?
Hey, Jared.
Yes.
Do you have, I was watching one of Jenna Hooper's trainings yesterday in the iOS, and she was talking about mailing campaigns
Yeah.
and which ones were the most effective for her, like which postcards and which color and sizes. So that was interesting. And you
That's
can
cool.
send out a bunch at a time or just one at a time because they're so cheap.
I think you can do like a complete mailing campaign. So depending
Right.
how you upload it. So if you're just driving for dollars, you're just adding one at a time, you can just like send out these postcards, and it has
Yeah,
pictures of the actual property that they're sending.
Yeah, she said her favorite one was the one that looked like it was written with Sharpie. She said she's had the most return with that.
That
And I
makes
think they're
sense.
on yellow paper. So the medium to bigger size is her most profitable.
So they have one written. Is it the one written in cursive or no? There's one that's written like in handwritten?
You know what? I'll post it in the community.
Oh, perfect.
The ones that she
That'd be awesome.
suggested. She
That'd
said if
be
you want
awesome.
to save money, do the smaller ones, but the medium to bigger ones have more results for her.
Perfect. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they wanted to talk about? And then, or we can just go into, what was our subject? Oh, hot leads. That's right. Yeah, does anybody have any leads that that we can call? And even if you call them, and then we can even like in the chat kind of coach you along. That'd be kind of cool.
You
Or
mentioned
One with
I-
you is Susan.
Susan. Oh, Susie.
Minersville.
We can call that one. I messaged and called a couple times, but I get anything. But yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on, but they go to auction on the 9th of like next month.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's it. Let me get her. Let's do that.
I never got her number. She messages it to you.
Oh, I can give it to you too. Let me give it.
Okay.
So then you have it. So you're not dependent on me making sure we're following up on it. And here we are. Bill. Okay. Does anybody know where Minersville is? It's out in the sticks. Like I think it's population like 2,000. It's not. Oh, here it is. So we got this. So Heather called this lady or this guy. So how did that first conversation? Because it wasn't the guy that you originally spoke to. That's Susie. So what was the deal in this? Let everyone fill everyone real fast.
So I got a hold of Austin. So he is like the grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, if you can really help them, I'll give you the exact number and let them know that you're not a scam, whatever, and to pick up the phone when you call. And I said, okay, that's great. We started talking to her, and the bank's been refusing their payments. Like they've been trying to catch up, but they're like, okay, if you don't pay us in full, we don't want your payments. And so it's been racking up. Is it grandma died or the grandpa? I don't remember. I thought at first.
The grandpa died, and the bank wasn't refusing, but they were trying to refi. And the person that was doing the loan said, "Don't make your payments."
Yeah, don't make your payments.
So they didn't.
Yeah, the roof is like leaking. There's like a lot of damage to this property. It's clear out there in the middle of nowhere. They want to stay, but that doesn't make any sense for someone to pick it up as a rental because then they would be reliable to like fix it up. So
yeah, I'd be liable for the repairs and everything else that needs to be done. So we're last time we were talking to them, they were okay
trying to go through HUD. Yeah, they were trying to do something with HUD.
Yeah. So they were okay if we bought it and then rented it back to them, because they could make the payment of what their mortgage was, but what we had talked about, like with the market rent in that area would be like $1,350. So if they can't, I think we just need to make sure that they understand that they may not be able to keep the property and still avoid the foreclosure and walk away with anything. Yeah. But we were basically buying at 98,000, which is basically what they owe. So they'd be walking with a couple grand. You might be able to get up to like to 10. But again, especially if you're going to wholesale something and it's out there in the sticks, it needs to be. You've heard me say it a bunch of times, but it really has to be a killer deal to find a buyer. Let me call.
Yeah, I don't know what we can do, but I'm trying to do something.
I guess still be fine. And if they can pay the oh, we'll talk to them about it. Okay. Any other questions before we go ham? We're calling Susie on this.
Do you want me to be quiet? Do you want me to be on the phone with you?
I'm just. Oh yeah. Do you want to be on the phone? Yeah, you can
I'd
do
love
that.
to.
Let me
I love that.
call you, and then we'll call Susie.
Okay.
And then but what I'll do is I'll mute my computer so you guys can talk, or if something does come off mute, it's not gonna pop out. So you guys can talk amongst yourself, but should still be able to hear me or hear us. So uno momento, let me get Heather. All right, I'm calling Heather.
Sure.
I'm muting the computer. Awesome. Okay, one sec. Yep. Okay. There, let me add Susie. Yes, you're okay. Hey, Susie? Susie?
Yes.
Oh, hi, how's it going? It's Jared.
Oh, I was thinking about you yesterday and gonna call you.
Oh, okay. Well, there we are. My nose was itching, so that explains it. You were thinking of me.
We're just a little bit overwhelmed and stressed out.
Oh, understandable. Totally understandable. I get that.
I haven't heard nothing from HUD, and my husband and my brother is pessimistic. We're moving. We gotta get things. We gotta go.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to move. I want to stay here.
Right. Yeah. So, and is because your brother's saying it's gonna be hard to kind of stay there, and so was the plan still kind of like we're moving into with your husband, right? Because he had a place out there, or what was it again?
So they just think that we should just walk away and move, and I don't want to.
Gotcha.
They don't want to either, but they think that we don't have any other place.
Right.
So.
And if you. Mhm.
Was my world, and I know that sounds weird, but
No, it's okay. I get it.
That's another one of my problems.
Right. Well,
so I don't know. Do you have any solutions?
So we did talk about you staying there, and it's not something we normally do when we're buying people's properties, especially if they're behind on the mortgage, just because if they had a hard time making the payments in the mortgage company, then it would be a hard time for them to make a higher rent payment.
Well, that in our situation, that wasn't the problem.
Right. Because you could have made the payments, but the person doing the loan told you just don't bother making the payments, and then
she was making the payments. This is another problem we have. I don't know what they're going to do because she's in long-term care, and the state. Everybody tells me that when they have a parent in long-term care and after they pass away, the state will come back on the house. So that's another thing we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. So
they told us from the get-go when she went into long-term care that we couldn't do nothing with the house.
Right. Well, you couldn't do anything with the house as far as selling it, or what do you mean?
That's what they told me. Yeah, they said I said, well, I would like to buy it, and they said you can't. One of the family's kids' names has to be on the house for 7 years before a parent is put in long-term care before we can buy it. After they're put in long-term care, they don't have any liens on it.
Right, and she is coherent and mentally okay. I mean, is there any she had dementia or something?
She can't walk or nothing, but we're not told what was going on because I don't want her to get upset.
Right, because she's the one that's on title, right? If her memory serves, and so she would be the one that'd have to make that. She would have to at least know if even if we sold it and could keep you guys in there, she would still
Yeah.
have to.
For that.
Okay, got it. Because even if it's as far as that's concerned of them not having to, I could be wrong, but I mean I've bought properties from other people that were in care, so I'm not sure.
So my aunt had her house fixed to where, you know, it was kind of like a reverse mortgage, but it was years ago before that started. Anyway, when she turned 62, she didn't have to make a payment anymore on her house. She could live there for the rest of her life. Well, she got found a few years ago. Well, she's been gone 4 or 5 years. So my cousin had to put her in long-term care. So they did nothing with the house. He told me that he had to get a loan, pay off
what was owed from the reverse mortgage, right?
And she was in there for a year or more. Maybe not quite, I can't remember, because I was working there when she was in there. And then he had to buy the house back.
Yeah.
I mean, I never asked him how much everything cost him, but that's what he told me that he had to do.
That makes sense. With the reverse mortgage, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know,
but see, with this house, it's just a mortgage company.
Sure. Right. So that shouldn't be much of a challenge, I don't think.
I don't know if you know much about face servicing, but I'm not really impressed with them.
With what was the company you're dealing with?
Face servicing, I feel like they let me down. You know, they were trying to help my mom get her payments lowered and do a modification, and that's what happened. That's how it went to foreclosure.
Gotcha.
And you know, I was in the middle of, fell and hurt my knee around that time in January last year. I had knee surgery. I was recuperating, and everything went to hell.
Well, you're good.
So I don't know. But my brother he's really depressed about everything, and
Understandable, of course.
Rent here. We lived here all our lives. There's nowhere to buy or to rent here.
Yeah.
And my husband wants to buy. I mean, we've been trying to buy a house for years, and we got mowed over on a house a couple of years ago that just done me in. I mean, I had freaking $5,000 worth of furniture in bought and ready to move in, and it was a nightmare.
Oh no. Yeah, that's
the owner did not communicate. The realtor and me communicated all the time, but he didn't communicate with the buyer or the owner, and the owner goes and makes a deal with the Brenda to fix it up and move in.
right. Well, let me ask you, Susie, with on this, if we did buy it from you guys, and I have some concerns.
Okay.
Can I just put everything out there and just so we're all on the same page? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So because the current mortgage is just a hair under $1,000, is that right?
Yes.
And by were you able to find that last mortgage statement and the reinstatement letter so you were looking at? Were you able to find that info?
I did with it because I've been cleaning and decorating for Christmas. I'm
Gotcha.
sure there'll be another one in the mail. We get one almost every day. Oh no, it's right here.
Oh, good.
It's right here.
Phenomenal. Is there any way, can you take a picture of that and then text that to me or email it to me?
But this is this is 17,000. Right now it's up to 20 now.
Okay.
But
so do you have a more recent one, or if anything when we're done here, just send the one that you have, and then
there'll probably be another one.
Perfect, exactly.
November 18th, so it's almost a month old.
November 18th. Okay. So what we want is like the last statement and a reinstatement amount. So basically it's a breakdown of like what would it take, how much money would you have to bring to the table to reinstate that loan so it's in good standing again.
Sunday, so you probably want a picture of this.
Yes.
Notice the trustee sale.
Okay. Yeah.
And January 8th at 1:30. And they want $20,000 deposit in the form of a bank or credit union cashier's check, or a official check payable to Halliday, Watkins, and Mann, PC. That's their attorneys.
Okay. Holiday.
And I'll take a picture of that and send it.
Yes, that's perfect. Yes, I appreciate that.
And then, they're telling us that we have 90 days from that day to get out.
Right.
Or whoever buys it, we have to pay rent, which that's what we would rather do.
Right. No, totally. Okay, so here's yeah, let me kind of just get it all out there, and then
Okay.
let's see if we can figure out a solution. Okay.
Okay.
What we're looking at, because like it's the payments is like just a hair under $1,000, 900 and something. Is that right? What we would want to do, we buy the property like we mentioned before, but we'd kind of keep would keep the mortgage in place. So then it basically helps with the financing, right? So we don't have to go to the bank to get financing to purchase it, which is a great deal.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Working that.
Yeah, just leaving that loan in place, and we're making payments, on time, and so that's pretty good. It's a good win-win. And I'm open to leasing the property back to you guys, but the payments, in order for it to make sense, would have to go to like the market or not payments, the rent would have to be market rent, which is right now when I was doing the research on this, it would be $1,350
Okay. Well,
a month,
Jared, to be honest with you, we would be paying that somewhere else.
if not more, right?
I don't know if you guys realize, but this house is big. It has 3 bedrooms down the basement. Sorry, 2.
Yeah.
It's not finished because we had leaks, and my mom got frustrated and said, "No, she's not finishing it off anymore." When her beautiful carpet and everything gets ruined. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs, 2 bathrooms. I mean, we have a humongous yard and property, a kitchen, living room. So anywhere else, my niece is paying $2,400 in Cedar for a 5-bedroom home. Yeah, rent's high right now. It's really nice, but it needs a lot of the basement needs to be updated, but she's happy. But her husband makes good money, but they're really struggling paying that kind of rent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know that's what we're going to be paying.
Yeah.
My brother's on disability, and he gets a pretty good check every month, and my husband makes really good money. So I mean, that's about what we were expecting to have to pay. So
Right.
we're good with that.
Now, how much, if you don't mind me asking, how much is your brother getting on average, say, from the disability?
I think he gets around $2,200 a month, $2,100.
Right. And
after his insurances and stuff are paid.
And with your husband making pretty good money, he lives in a different house, so he has those expenses as well, right?
He lives next door in my cousin's house, but he's planning on moving with us. That's the plan. If this all takes place, he will be moving over here with me.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So if we can get the rents to market rent, I think we might be able to do something. The other concern is like basically the deferred maintenance that's left there. So I know we talked about last time is with like the roof that's leaking, the kitchen that's very outdated, 20 plus years old, and also the plumbing challenges. That's probably my biggest. The roof and the plumbing challenges that you were telling me about. That's what really gets me concerned, because if we buy it, then we're obligated to be a landlord that makes sure you have a livable place. And from what you're telling me, it's not livable. Like technically,
See, the roof has been replaced. It's just my brother knows quite a bit. It's like there's a valley where it's leaking, so I don't think it'll be a big deal to fix. And he was supposed to come and fix it, him and my nephew, a long time ago. And my nephew got married, and just one thing after another. So.
Gotcha.
So
anyway. How long ago was the roof replaced?
Oh, let's see. Give or take 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know if it's even been that long.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
And I forgot, just Heather, my partner, is on the phone as well. I told her, yeah. Sorry, Heather.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, great. So 10 years ago so the roof's 10 years old. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks good still. It's just
leaking.
It's leaking,
Yeah.
right as you come in the front door.
Susan, we talked about you getting us pictures. Do you have some time today to possibly do that?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're going to be able to send those pictures over? Because this is something with the auction date coming just around the corner, and for us to do things that we need to do to make sure that we get this squared away. Okay, gotcha. And so what you're from the statements that you've been seeing, and we'll find out when you send out the paperwork, but you guys owe about like $97,000, is that right?
Yep. it says, let's see, for right here. I think it said 97 something.
Okay.
Yep, $97,763.97.
So we would have to buy the property closer to like the $99 or $99. No, 99,000 range, because it's just the maintenance that would have to be kind of taken hit, and then it's just, so I mean, you walk away with a little bit, but I mean, it's not much. The thing is though, like also another concern of mine is like the plumbing, because you're saying last time we were chatting that it floods like once a month, like that's a
stairwell.
uh-huh.
The plumber thinks that there's, well, he don't think he knows because he's pulled them out of there.
Yeah.
There's tree roots, because we got 2 trees out here. My brother really wants to take them out. So he told my brother, my husband could do it. He wants them to dig up out here and see how bad the tree roots are and get them, see if we can't get them gone.
Right.
So, but other than that, we don't have any other plumbing issues than that.
The challenge with that is like when depending on where those roots are at, right? So we'd have to get someone to scope it and see where the problem is. Hopefully those roots are in like where the city's line starts and they can fix it, which would be ideal.
That would be nice.
But most likely not, right?
Yeah.
So the challenge is like uprooting an entire draining system. I mean, that alone is going to cost anywhere from and that's just here locally where I'm at, like in Salt Lake area. I'm not sure how much it'd be out there, probably more, but 20 to 30,000 to do something like that. Just that.
It's too big of a deal. So I don't know. He just
So he
kind of basically said he thought it was just kind of minor.
But it's flooding like once a month, and he's saying it's true. He's saying that's minor.
Yeah, he just says them tree roots, and then so I don't know. It's been about that now, and everything's working good. So we'll see.
So last time he came, he said it was, so last time he came, he did whatever he did, but he said it might be tree roots, but it might happen again.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will do it. But he said, we need to get it. If it does, we need to dig it up and see. And my husband has access to the backhoes and all that stuff.
I asked what exactly did he do? Do you remember?
He has a rooter. I can't think of what it's
Rooter.
He just sticks it down in the drain and
clears it out.
He pushes out what's clogged, or and all he's ever got out of it was tree limbs and stuff. Tree roots, yes.
Yeah.
So.
And this is not a septic system. It's city plumbing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a concern of ours, because there's stuff that we got to kind of get there as far as deferred maintenance.
I think the best thing too is he's out of here.
Right.
He planted them. He thought that he was doing a good thing, and they're really beautiful in the summer. But no, they cause issues. Our neighbor next door, they have beautiful trees all across the front yard, and she had broken windows all the time, and they cut them down completely, got rid of them.
Right.
And we had a lot of shade from them, but she said, if I don't, one's going to end up on your house and the other's going to end up on mine. So, I mean, I love trees, but they are a pain.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of wind here.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I live in Twilla, we're a little bit smaller town as well, and so. Oh, there you go. Oh, well, there you are. Nice. So.
She just had a baby, and I was coming up.
Oh, that's great. And then you got sick, right? I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking it out.
That's good.
The furnace went out, and he said he's getting it fixed today, and I said, I'm just going to come up next weekend.
Yeah.
And
well,
so I was going to do that. Hopefully.
That sounds like an awesome trip, But so Susie, because there's a possibility, because we're going to have to, do our due diligence, make sure that everything kind of makes sense. There's a possibility that if depending on how much the deferred maintenance is, that you guys may have to vacate the premise, and that's just something I would love to avoid, and maybe we still can do that, right? But there's if it's as bad as and I'm not saying it's as bad, but you know, with the current challenges that we're talking about, right? Because as a landlord with any type of tenant, we're legally obligated to make sure you have a working, safe home, regardless, right? If we had to do something like that, where we had to, you know, whether it's a couple of months for rehab or whatever, and then give you guys an option to lease it back at the 1,300 or whatever, would you guys have a place to go in the meantime if it was something like that? If we had to do something like that? Okay, gotcha. And I mean, depending kind of what it goes as far as like the rents. I mean, the rent will probably be with it, address it then when it's going to be maybe 1,400 or 3,500, right around there, but it shouldn't be more than, you know, give or take $100 or so.
Not anywhere else.
Exactly, right. So there's a strong possibility we may have to have you guys leave for until we've finished kind of the rehab and getting that fixed up, and depending kind of where we go from there. But because I work with different partners, so it kind of depends on what they want to do as far as the end result, and you know, I'm really good at acquisitions, and they're really good at doing all the rehab and managing rentals, right? So, would we have as far as access? Well, let me back up. So one, we would have to have your mom sign the paperwork.
Right. She will.
Just trying to think the easiest way. And she is. How are you? Have you ever done like a DocuSign before, or are you familiar with that kind of stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
So I can send you some paperwork for your mom to sign in. It's a .loop. It's just another website like DocuSign.
Okay.
But she would have to have the one there signing it, right? And then for closing, she would have to. A lot of times they can do like a virtual, like on Zoom, to make sure that she's there and conscious, and you know that. And then they can, if she can't leave the title company, but she should be able to leave the title company for an afternoon, right? Would that be a problem?
Oh, no, I think that she can help me get her in the car. We could drive up to Beaver to the title
Perfect.
company. They can bring it out to the car to her.
Okay, awesome. That's even better.
She was gonna do that. She was gonna put our names on the deed,
Okay,
and we never did get around to doing it.
awesome. Okay, well, I mean, awesome, but yeah, I mean, that's good that she's at least somewhat mobile. You know, maybe not easy, but can. Okay, great. So let's do that. Send me. So here's some things that we're gonna need, right? So we're gonna need like all of the paperwork that you possibly can find about the house and the mortgage and everything else. Send me all that stuff, kind of what we talked about, last statement. And I may need you to. I may have to have you call, and I can be on the phone with you if you like, whatever's easiest. And we just need to get a reinstatement letter, which sounds like you may already have. How much it's going to cost to reinstate the loan, right?
Okay.
And then understanding like where the, you know, we're eventually going to have like the sign on, which we can worry about that little down the road, like where like how your mom would make payments, you know, whether that's just through online or mail or whatever. We need to make sure we have access to all that stuff. And in addition to that, I'm going to need some access to the property. Where basically what that means is like, because I said I work with other partners and my contractors have to come in, give us some estimates. So I mean, I may not make it down there, but my partners probably would. So whether that's, are you guys home like pretty much all the time, or what's, okay.
Somebody.
So if I contact you, say I got a partner coming by, well, what's like the minimum amount of heads up are you going to need, or it's just going to be pretty easy?
2 hours a day.
2 hours? Okay, got it. That's easy enough. Sure.
Yeah, anytime.
Great. So I'm going to need you to take some as many pictures as you possibly can of each room. Okay. And if you can do me a favor, when you're taking pictures, it's easier if you're on the corner of the room as close as you can. I understand there's furniture, whatnot. And you're like kind of getting like a bird's eye view, or not bird's eye view, but a wide view of the entire room as you're going through it.
Okay. And don't look at the pictures because we're trying to clean and get things put away.
Totally understandable. I'm not expecting. I understand, and it's understand. But here's one thing: like if you could see the houses that I've seen, like I can guarantee your house is nothing worse.
I know, but we're not that kind of people.
Right.
Things just happen.
I get it, but this is judgment-free zone. This is like we're trying to do like to help, you know, like find that win-win. So there's no, it's a judgment-free zone. So I definitely understand, you know, the hesitancy. I mean, totally understandable, but we're not going to judge, you know, that's fine. We just need to see as much as we can. I may end up having one of my guys run out there and actually take pictures depending on, but we'll address it as we go forward though. But okay, phenomenal. So yeah, so can we do the end of today? If you can give me all that stuff, that'd be awesome. And then I'll be able to email you DocuSign. Do I have your email? I don't think I do.
It's Susie, S-U-Z-I.
U-Z-I.
Mariota, M-A-R-I-O-T-A. And it's just got Gmail.
At Gmail. That's S-U-E-Z-I. Z as in zebra?
Sorry, S-U-Z-I.
Oh, Z-I. Just S-U-Z-I.
Yep.
M-A-R-I-O-T-A at Gmail.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. And then your and I could look this up, but just so it's Kelly or no. What was your mom's name again?
No, well, it's Norma she hates that name. She goes by Kay, but it's
Kay.
Norma K. Kelsey, and it's K-A-Y-E. Oh, it says K in here. It doesn't say Norma in the trustee sale paper. And see, my dad was always Waldo Bill, and he would get so mad. But on the papers, the bank papers, it's K and Bill.
K and Bill. Okay. And as far as the trustee papers, what do you have on that? Do you?
Just what I told you, I'll take a picture and send them to you too.
Perfect.
Just when the sale starts and when you get out.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. Okay, yeah, perfect.
All that.
Gotcha. Okay, great. So we'll get that. I'll just wait for you to get that stuff over to me so that I can start with the paperwork on my end, and then we'll get this going. And as we go forward, I'll be able to know pretty quick if you guys have to vacate, so we can do some remodeling on the property, and then after that we can talk about what it looks like to rent the place, because I understand there's some heart connections in this house, and I get that. So
I need some work done, and my mom and dad just weren't able to do it.
Right. And so
and he went down, was on dialysis for 18 months, and yeah, it was hard.
Gotcha. There might be an option, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud more than anything else. There might be an option where we can potentially sell the property back to you guys.
That's what we would like to.
However,
possible.
Do you guys have like as far as like financing goes, or like credit? Because I understand if your husband's working.
My husband, yeah. See, we were ready to buy a house 2 years ago.
That's right. Then you had that challenge with the seller, right?
Just out a bit. Because it was an old house and there was issues. I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And she says, "I'll never kick you out. You guys can live here forever." Yeah. Well, she got snotty, and so that's why we had to be in my cousin's house next door, and that's when my whole world went
just crumbling down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great. Yeah. So as we go forward, we'll see exactly what we can do as far as options go.
Okay.
If we do have to have you guys leave, and just so we can fix the property up, and then we can address it, like as far as like if rental's an option, if purchasing the property back from us at the market value, after we fix it up, then we can talk about that as well. But we could definitely kind of keep things open. But before we close, we'll have a concrete idea of kind of what we can do and what the exact options are. Okay.
Sounds good.
Is that fair? Okay, great. So you got some homework, and so do we. And so let's get this thing going. Okay.
Time to talk, or not scheduled right now?
Right. Yeah. Well, if we can have a chat tomorrow after you send us all that stuff, when we send the paperwork, and then we can have a better idea what's kind of, if there's any other questions.
After 12 o'clock, I don't know if my husband might get no, he has to work tomorrow. I thought maybe he might get a wild hair and want to take my daughter and go shopping.
Nice for Christmas and everything. That'd be fun.
But he has to work this weekend. They've got a lot of stuff they've got to get done.
So what time do you think Jeff would be off work?
Probably 5, but you can just call me anytime
Okay.
after like 12 o'clock or right now around this time.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, and we'll just kind of touch base and make sure.
Yes, the morning. So 2 is good for me. Sounds good. I have a weird question for you, Jared.
Yes.
Since you live in Tooele and up there and about, do you know Jared Hamner?
Jared Hamner?
Uh-huh.
That name sounds familiar.
I don't know if he was county commissioner up there or he was involved in a lot of stuff up there. He's my brother's he's my sister-in-law's sister's husband. And so, yeah, he's a good guy. And I know he's involved in a lot of stuff up there in Tooele County and stuff.
So is that Hamlet or Hamler?
Hamner, Hamner. And his wife Suzanne's my sister-in-law's sister, and yeah, she's I just thought you might know him. He's involved in a bunch of stuff in the county up there.
Nice.
He's a really guy to know. Really good guy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I know him personally. No. He has a good first name, but other than that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, Susie.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Okay, we're off. Let me unmute. There we are. Okay, guys. So it looks like Heather got a subject to deal. So this one's a little bit like it's interesting, right? I mean, we're gonna buy it for like 97 or 99,000, so under 100. And I kept it open because I'm not sure what's gonna happen with her. So like I would definitely make sure they understand what's gonna happen, but I want to open for the buyer if they want to like have to rehab it or fix and flip it, or they just want to give her the option to purchase it. Like if they do a fix and flip and then like, hey, by the way, it's for sale if you want to buy it, and if they can't buy it, then they can't buy it. But I want to make sure it's transparent and clear, right? But
so what's that you did with them that they can rebuy the property once you fix it?
so that's just if they fix it up, if they offer to buy it, they can buy it traditionally and just buy it at market value if they can afford it. So I'm not putting in any type of option to purchase it, but it's just more of like, yeah, if we fix it up, then we might have give you an option to purchase it. So I'm going to give them more once we find a buyer and find out what their plan is, what they want to do with the property. Then we're like, hey, this is what's going to happen. So they're not like feeling like the rug's been pulled from underneath them. But I just wanted to keep the options open because this is an interesting one.
But usually
we ran comps on this one, and there was like one around the corner for like 300,000. So yeah.
What were we
I'm
gonna say,
hopeful
Jordy?
that works out that way for them, that they are able to stay, we fix it up, they refinance in like 5 years, and then someone gets a really good, like, I really just hope that that's how it works out.
I think she understands that she's kind of in a tough situation, and we're going to find the best solution that we can for her, but it may not be the one of the solutions she may not be able to live there. I don't know.
But when you usually present this, I mean, how often do you present this? I mean, to give them the option to rebuy the property or to rent it? Okay.
Rarely, but it does come up.
Okay.
So that was their big pain point, is that she wants to live there. That's like a big pain point. So, and if she's able to pay market rent, then awesome. That's excellent, right? But I also opened the door if someone just wanted to come flip it, they could, and then she still could buy it, just have to flip at a freshly remodeled property. So again, it still opens the door for her to do what she kind of wants to do, and yet we're open for whatever the buyer may want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more conversations.
So far out, it being so far out, might be ideal that they just stay there and then in the future buy it back at market value. That might be ideal for somebody. I don't know, since it's so far out.
What do you mean so far? Oh, the location.
It's like the location's like in BFE. So
yeah. Well, if someone's gonna do anything out there, it's gonna be someone that's their home turf, in within an hour or two of that location. That's the buyer that's gonna be looking for. So this is closer to Cedar City than it is to us. So the buyers I'm going to be targeting or trying to pitch this to are like investors in Cedar City. Is basically kind of what I'm going to be looking at.
So with this, could you do like put in the deal like that they get first right of refusal or whatever?
No, I'm not going to put that in there.
Okay.
Right. If the then buyer is actually okay with something like that, then yeah, absolutely. You know, but or if we could put a first right of refusal in there, that which gives them an option to buy it, but it'd be at appraised value, something like
Right.
that. Right.
Okay.
So and they are subject to qualify. So we could do something like that, give them a little more assurance, so at least have a shot. So in case the buyer, because I'm not going to control the buyer once he buys the property, right? So that
Right.
might protect them a little bit better or more, where like the seller or the buyer at least has to give them a shot, and they can't just say, oh yeah, Jared, it's no problem, and then turn around and not do what they said, right? So that's not a bad idea, actually. Okay, good, awesome. What other takeaways do you guys get from that? And this was not the first conversation, right? So a lot of the basic stuff was kind of done in the first couple of conversations we had with her, and we just had a hard time getting hold of her since then. But that's how it rolls sometimes. Awesome. Cool.
I'm really glad that she was thinking about calling us. You know, she was mentioning that she was thinking of us.
Yeah.
I almost thought that maybe she was just kind of dodging us for a second because she wasn't returning your texts and stuff. So
right. Yeah, I called her a couple times to get any response, sent her some messages, and she responded beforehand. She replied with text messages, so she can and knows how to text.
Yeah.
And but even phone calls was kind of interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah, I almost called the grandson and was just like, okay, are they okay? Are they okay? I just want to make sure that they're fine. Like if they don't need our help, great, but are they okay?
Yep.
So
Totally. Okay. Awesome. And if you guys know any buyers that are doing deals out in the sticks, the Boo Nannies, let me or Heather know. More than happy to. It's fun. But cool. Well, congrats, Heather. This is awesome.
thank you. I'm very proud.
Soon to be
and thank
deal
you.
under contract. Subject to under 100K. Boom.
And thank you. I appreciate you
Yeah.
walking me through this and helping me a little bit more than I would have been able to do on my own.
Yeah. Is this helpful? Seem like the calls been live, guys, or is it just kind of so? Or yeah. Okay.
Hey,
No, it's
this
good.
is Frankie. Can you hear me?
Frankie. Yep.
Hey, listen, I want to hear what would be the strategy that Heather or you're going to advise Heather to do, because I am working on a deal somewhat like that. You know, the wholesaler is going to put it under contract, and he's trying to sell me the contract as a seller finance. How would you explain Heather to do that?
What is to wholesale the deal as a seller financing deal or subject to in this case?
Yes, as a seller finance deal.
Yeah.
Is that a seller finance or subject to?
It's subject to. This is a straight subject to because they're.
But it's pretty similar, correct? As a seller finance or subject to, it's pretty much the same.
It's creative financing. There's a little bit of difference to it, but yeah, basically we're keeping the mortgage in place. That's subject to, and then an official seller financing is if they own the property free and clear, and then they're just they put a note on it, and then you're paying them. Subject to is where the mortgage stays in place. So, but as far as like wholesaling, it's very, very similar. It's not much different changes. We have to make sure that we get the temporary, what is it called? Oh my gosh, my blank for a second. Limited power of attorney. So the grandma's gonna have to sign, basically giving us permission to act in her behalf and anything regarding with this mortgage. So we can call them. We can ask for final payoff statements if we need to down the road or whatever it needs. So the end buyer's going to have that kind of documents involved. But as far as wholesaling it goes, it's just finding the right buyer, just like you would if it's a cash deal. But you're advertising as if it's what it is, right? It's a substitute deal. Down payment's going to be like 10 grand. Well, maybe 13, 12. We'll see. But it's going to be like, because they're going to walk away depending on how much they owe, right? Oh, but they have to get back 17. So it's going to be 20,000 getting caught up. So it's closer to 30.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm trying to find some information because I got a deal that the wholesaler that I work with is trying to, just
So
wholesale it to me.
Or what's your concern with it, or what?
Oh, no. I just need to find out a little bit of information about it. Which way should I, which way do I need to proceed with doing a transaction like this because I'm not really familiar with them.
Okay, got it. So, and the terms are good. So it's seller financing or subject to? Is it like a wrap where they're kind of doing both?
You know what, though?
Not sure.
At the moment, I'm not sure yet, but that's what
what title company would you guys be using?
Don't know yet.
Okay, so use either REI title or a GT title. Use one of those two, and you're gonna get with Christine Moser, Christine
Moser
title or Whitney in REI title. And they can help you, walk you through like what the paperwork that make sure it's all on the up and up, and then you have everything you need depending on what kind of creative financing it is. If it's because if it's depending on what it is, if it's subject to wrap, where there's subject to and just regular seller financing, or it's just straight up seller financing. There's a little bit nuances to each of those, but they've done like probably thousands at this point, of creative financing deals. So both of them are very competent. They kind of walk you through that. So and maybe other title companies are just as competent. Well, I wouldn't say as, but at least they can be competent. But those are just my two recommendations, like hard recommendations.
Okay. Yeah. I work with Christina quite a bit. So
oh, good. Yeah.
I know she's really good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jared.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Awesome, guys. Any other questions or any other thoughts?
My watching a few of these phone calls with you, it seems like there's sort of this, this is just an observation. Obviously, there's got to be this rapport building point, which you do very well. And just understanding the situation, letting them talk and acknowledging what they're going through. And there's sort of like this, I don't know, for lack of term, apologize, kind of a come to Jesus meeting. Yeah. You go, all right, can we be transparent? Can we put things out on the table? And you almost phrase it just like that, where you just kind of unpack the situation and go, you know what, here's the reality. Here's the challenge. Nothing's impossible, but here's what we have. Here's what we got in front of us. And, but we're all going to work together to make this happen. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've learned from your phone calls, and obviously very, very successful way of doing that.
Yeah, but my observation too is even with the quote unquote coming to Jesus part of it, I feel like you're doing it in a way that you're still building rapport, because you're just giving them, this is just what we can do. This is what it's going to be like anywhere else. If you don't want to use us, that's fine. We're just here to help in the way that we can.
Right. And I think being disattached with the outcome, I mean, that's pretty big. And that comes across, if you're like, I really need this deal. I think one of the number one reasons that new people mess up their own deals, because they come across a little bit, not intentionally, but they come across like, I really need this deal. I want to get my first deal, or I want to get this next deal, or whatever it is. And then they get something called commission breath. And it's just like, it stinks like it's all heaven. And even if the seller can't put their thumb on it, like what exactly you're doing, or that you're really, but they sense it. They subconsciously, they're like, there's this.
They get spooked.
They get spooked. Exactly. There's something off here. Like, you really need me to sign this thing, and that makes me thinking I shouldn't sign it.
Yeah. Or they overpromise, and they get themselves in a position where they're paying too much and they sink because they want it so badly. Right. Absolutely. And I'm glad you kind of pointed it out, CJ, as well, because this was like not our first conversation with Susie. So a lot of times the first conversations are a lot lighter, and just trying to get, and building rapport is not talking, again, I've talked about this before, but it's not talking about their favorite sports team. It's none of that stuff. It's letting them talk about themselves. That builds more rapport than anything else you can ever talk about. Trust me.
Because you feel good about what when I'm talking about myself, that's a favorite subject. And it's your favorite subject too, whether you want to believe it or not. So when you're talking about yourself, whether that's situation or whatever, and you just feel understood, like I don't remember everything that Heather says, but I remember how I felt when I was with her. So it's the same. It's just that builds rapport, and then that gives you, and even in the same question, having this come to Jesus means like, hey, this is. And sometimes you don't need to have a come to Jesus meeting. Like they're like everything, yeah, this checks out. Let's do this. When it comes down, they really want to stay, but I don't know if I can have you stay. But we're gonna do everything we can to figure this stuff out, and we're gonna give with all of these challenges, this is why I can't give you that price. It just doesn't make any sense for any investor, right? So
it's the kindest thing to do because she's gone through so much. So being so honest at this point where she can figure out what she needs to do next is like so important, I feel like.
Yeah. And the thing is, as people get closer to the D-Day, whatever that may be, whether that's divorce, foreclosure, like the judgment day is coming.
Decision day.
The more, not desperate, but at least willingness to open up and willingness to the pride come down a little bit. Sometimes, not all the time. Yeah. So as it gets closer, that's why it's like always good when you're having people and you're having conversations to do a follow-up with them, and have a conversations here and there. Put it in your calendar if you don't have a CRM system set up. Like if you're starting out, you don't need a CRM system. You're not gonna have enough to even justify any cost for that. But you can have a whiteboard. You can put stuff like, especially when I first started, I just put stuff in my calendar. Like, okay, great, I need to call Susie, and I just put it through 3 weeks out. Call Susie. Here's the address, some key points to make sure I remember everything or where my notes are, and I'll put that in the event and make a couple events. And then, so I know like, oh, cool. If it's not in the calendar, I'm probably not going to do it. That's just how I am, right? So I need something. So you can just do that, and make your own drip campaign in the calendar. And whatever if it's Google or iPhone calendar or whatever you're using, you can do that all day long.
I really enjoyed that you let her talk about all her issues, like not all of them, but just like let it get out there. But you don't get sucked into it.
Yeah.
You kind of like pull her back. Okay, those are all those things that happen. Let's get back on track. Like, but you do it so gently. It's not rude. You listened, but then it's like, okay, let's pull it back. And
you can validate them in any like, oh, that sounds like an amazing trip. I'm excited you're going to go. But here's what, and then you don't. It's important when I talk about cadence and pausing. Like it's very important. And on that case, like when you're resolving an objection, or you're trying to get them back on track of what you're talking about, you want to validate them and address if it's an objection, address the objection, and then just keep on moving without much space in between for them to interject in that space. So in that instance, you don't want much pause to your next thing. So, that was a great, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy that trip. So so you're gonna send me those documents today, right? And then we're, two things at once, right? Okay. Love it, guys. Awesome. Great. Well, let's I'm excited for next Saturday, not tomorrow, but and I think Ellie's having her Christmas party tomorrow, so that'll be fun with all those who want to come. And
so what's happening next Saturday? We're going door knocking, right?
We're going door knocking. Okay. And by Monday, let's figure out where we're going to do it at. I think that's fine. We do it like on the call.
We're doing it on Monday. Okay.
No, well, we'll figure out the location on Monday.
Gotcha.
But we're going to be knocking on doors at 1. And then,
so I'm going door knocking today at 4:30.
Nice.
How did you get that notice of default, like that list, like that in that one specific area?
iOS.
Like, how did you do that? iOS. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. I was just
because you can just go into the notice of defaults in whatever city, and then if you zoom in the map, it'll the list on the right will change to what's on the map. So you can zoom in or out as much as you want, and it'll show the ones that are right there in that block or however zoomed in you want.
Right.
So the map will change, which is kind of cool. I like that. I like that feature.
It is cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. Well, sweet. Congrats, Heather. And then let's get things going.
Thank you.
All right. Peace out. Love everybody.